Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Gold. I'm excited. I mean, oh, it just went off on me, but I'm excited. It's Zac Efron's in it, right? Can it be really that bad? 5.4 on IMDb, 3,290 people rated it so far. So 5.4 isn't too exciting. It's only an hour and 36 minutes long, so it meets the weekday criteria for me to review a movie, right? But there's nobody else really in it. I mean, honestly, he's the only one with a picture. There's two other people. Anthony Hayes, who I think is the director, and Susie Porter, who plays the stranger. And nobody else. I mean, that's only a couple. So it's interesting. It's about two men who discover the biggest gold nugget in history, and they have to find a way to extract it. But very low actors in this, at least on IMDb, but mildly excited. I was waiting to see this, and hopefully it's good. But I'll get into it, find out what it's about, give you a better idea, let you know what I think. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Gold. We're at the 48-minute, 43-second mark, and it's interesting. It kept my interest for those 48 minutes. I didn't realize it was that far along in the movie, even though, let me tell you, Zac Efron's our main character, and the first scene is him on a train showing up somewhere. I had to look it up, but it looks like they're in South Australia, right? It's like a desert where they end up. But essentially he's going, and he goes to some place, no idea what it is, and he asks for, there's a guy who's supposed to give him a ride to a compound. And so eventually he hooks up with the guy. So really minimal actors in it. Now it's just him and the guy's driving him to this compound where, you know, he's basically going to change his life over. I don't know, it seems like it's going to be hard work, and he's become a worker of some sort, but that's his whole purpose. That's where he's going to do. Evidently there's something going on in the world. They don't tell you anything, but they're talking about people like migrating and moving and like coming south, like into Australia and stuff like that. So he asks, are you from the West? And he says yes. So people are starting to migrate away from there. People are turning on each other. We don't know much more detail than that. But for some reason he's going to this compound to get a job. And so they're going there, and they're driving there, and this is where they kind of come off the road for a little bit, and they find this huge nugget of gold that, you know, they can't get out of the earth by themselves, just two people. They try everything, and so they make the decision that one of them has to go find somebody who can help them excavate it, get an excavator essentially, and one of them has to stay with the gold. And so, you know, and this is early on, so it's not a spoiler alert because this is the majority of the movie, and I have to say, yep, so Zac Efron decides he's going to stay with the gold, whereas the guide or the driver is going to go back, and it was Zac Efron's choice. So, and it's like days. He's got to stay in the desert for days and guard this gold until the other guy, who he just met, comes back. So I thought that was a very interesting choice. You know, I think the guy who takes the truck has more, you know, opportunity there. I mean, Zac is there with food and some water. The guy could take as long as he wants and not come back and get the gold on his own. You know, I mean, why, you know, do it that way? Whereas if Zac would have took the truck, he could have done the same thing. I'm not sure if he thought the guy would go find somebody else some other way or do something like that. I don't know. Just seemed like an odd decision. But we're watching now a majority of what we've seen so far, besides that piece, is now Zac living in the desert. You know, trying to stay alive and continue to guard the gold kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting, I think. But, you know, we don't know too much about what's going on in the world around it. That's kind of a mystery, so I'd love to know more about that. They say in the beginning, like, this isn't the quote, but it's something like, in a not too distant future. Maybe that is a quote, but it's like, in like a time not too far from now, I think is the actual quote. So it's kind of, but it's not like futuristic in any sense, but it seems like there was something that happened in the world that's causing unrest and people to migrate to other places. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more. Maybe we won't. But hopefully we do, because I'm intrigued. but it's also going to be interesting to see what happens with this gold. So far so good. Although it does sound like minimal actors, a lot of time with just Zac Efron roaming in the desert. Sounds boring and dry, no pun intended. Absolutely pun intended. But it has been interesting, so we'll see where it goes. Stick around. Hopefully it's more interesting than me telling you about this movie. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Gold, and I am a little disappointed. Like I said at the check-in, questionable, you know, and what he decides and all that kind of stuff. I just think, you know, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. So that bothered me the whole time. And then just watching, you know, him trying to survive in the desert. I was trying to think of the other movie that I saw with Casey Affleck and Matt Damon. Can't remember that one, but it reminded me of that. That was, you know, and you get in that uncomfortable, you know, you're rooting for him, but, you know, he's trying to survive the elements, really. And so, waiting for this guy to come back. And then, so, you know, you're rooting for him, but it's hard to watch. As you can imagine, so it's not as much fun as the beginning when they first discover it and stuff like that. And it's funny, the characters are going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And anyway, so you know, it's just difficult to watch. It's not fun. And then they have your ending, right? And a little disappointed in that as well. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of how I would have done it better, but I don't even want to think any further than that. I was disappointed. The end. I don't know. It's hard for me to say anymore. Obviously, you have to watch it on your own. I mean, if you do decide to watch it, if you like Zac Efron, I think he does a fantastic job. As usual, I like him. I think he's normally pretty good in his movies, and you know, he's got to do it all on his own in this one. So, you know, so you're gonna like that aspect of it. But you know, everything else that I said, if that still interests you, check it out. I don't think I have anything more to add. Normally, I like to say, well, if you like this, if you like that, but in this case, it's everything that I said, so you can make your decision on your own now. Ooh, where am I on a score? I started with a 6 when I started to think that thought, but I'm also coming back maybe to a 5. And I think that's unfair sometimes. I rate my movies not only on the quality of the movie, but also how it makes me feel. I don't know if that's fair or not, but I can make up my own rules. It's my own channel, right? So it didn't, you know, like I said, watching it, I don't like those uncomfortable situations. Like, you know, I've seen other movies, not like this, but where bad things keep happening to the same person, you know what I mean? And it's like you're rooting for them. Like, they just feel uncomfortable. It doesn't make it fun. So that's kind of how I feel about this one. So, you know, but I want to give it a higher score because I think Zac Efron did good. I think, you know, they did it good with limited characters. There's somewhat of a good plot there besides that whole gaping hole. That hole that's spelled with a W and the other one's with an H. The whole gaping hole, or you know what I mean? Like, that piece bothers me. I'm going with a 5. I'm sorry. But it's like a 5 that if you liked everything, you could watch it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a terrible 5. It's a 5 because it made me feel. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. For people who enjoy movies, definitely worth a watch. For, you know, people who are so sensitive like me, you'll probably watch it and appreciate it, but then give it a 5 because, you know, the way it made you feel. So there you go. I don't know if I was helpful at all. Hopefully, if not, I apologize. At least you know how the movie made me feel. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.